And we're back with Deana McCloud from the Wood Guthrie Center right here in our town, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
It's lovely to be here.
Now, are you the manager, the CEO? What are you with it?
I am the executive director.
Okay, so you know all things Woody.
I know most things, Woody, yes. He's
Excellent.
a pretty complex character, so we
He
try
was.
to... Yeah.
He wasn't a simple man at all.
No. His genius is that he put things in a way that seemed very simple, but they were very deep and very complex.
I have read, there is a book, The Worst Hard Times. And in the book, the fellows who just happen to be from Texas, made the remark that when the Dust Bowl, the big black one, that bad day in April, when that day hit, that Woody sat in a house with a single light bulb and wrote, "So long, it's been good to know you."
Sure did, yeah.
That really happened.
Black Sunday, yeah. They thought the world was coming to an end, and when you see the film footage of that storm, that's what it looks like. I mean, it was horrific.
There aren't many people around. In fact, there are none today. But there aren't many people in our culture able to do what he did.
Right.
To hold up a mirror and present it in such a way that gave him time to leave town, and you had to think it through. And wait a minute, what did he say?
Right. It's really interesting the way that he had of phrasing things and the way he expressed the world around him. At the bottom of the lyrics to "This Land Is Your Land," Woody wrote a little note with an asterisk that says, "All you can write is what you see." And that's exactly what he did. He would take ideas for lyrics from the newspaper or articles that he heard over the radio and write down idea after idea after idea for a song title and put it down on a piece of paper in a ledger book, and then later on would either come back and finish that lyric or not. I mean, he wrote over 3,000 lyrics. We've got 103 of his notebooks. So he was such a prolific writer and so deep in the things that he was covering, but he also was presenting it in a way that people could relate to and that they could understand easily. Again, the genius that he had was in his simplicity and the way he had of reaching people. When he first went out to Los Angeles and was on the radio during those migrant worker years, whenever he saw the plight of all these people who didn't have any place to live, they didn't have any home anymore. And he understood the power of his voice to make a difference in their lives. That's when he became the social advocate that we see now. That voice in the wilderness to speak up for the disenfranchised.
I'm sitting here thinking of only one other person, and he just got an incredible prize and won't even call him and come get it, that comes close to what he did.
Right, and considered Woody his role model. I mean, Woody and Dylan are so closely related. And of course, Bob Dylan went and visited Woody when he was in the hospital suffering from Huntington's. He was Dylan's hero in all things lyrical.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and he carried on that tradition, which is amazing.
Would you tell for me again?
Yes.
The story that you gave me just a moment ago about when Woody worked, and it was what, in the Northwest?
Pacific Northwest.
Would you relate that story again, please?
Sure. So the Bonneville Power Administration hired him to write 26 songs in 30 days in support of the Grand Coulee Dam project, which was to build the biggest thing that man had ever done, this huge dam. And it ended up supporting the war effort. Without the energy and the things that were produced from the Grand Coulee Dam, we may not have won, or it would have taken a longer time to have won World War II. So it ended up being a fantastic thing for the country. But during this time, Woody's politics were so progressive, as they always were, that to hire him through the normal process for a normal government contract would have been a little bit risky for the gentleman who wanted to hire him. And so instead he put him on a contract internally for 30 days. But he said, Woody, you got to write a song a day. You can have the weekends off, but a song a day. And he did. They drove around the Pacific Northwest. Woody took in this landscape. He understood this idea of public power, which he really liked, and the idea of putting people to work, which again, during that time, that would have been very, very attractive to him. To put people to work, provide public power in this area of the Pacific Northwest where people literally were living by candlelight. So that of course, that progress really appealed to him.
So essentially, they hired him to write music.
Yeah, yeah.
And to carry the message across.
Absolutely.
And he did it. And my reason for bringing that up with you was not too long ago, not too long after I moved to Oklahoma, I heard that they found some lyrics in a cabinet drawer out there, and they were his. Is that's a true story?
That is absolutely true. Yeah, they found several different lyrics that had never been published, never been recorded. Some of the songs Woody had recorded, but not all of them, which is much like Woody's entire catalog of lyrics. He wrote over 3,000 songs that we have in our archives, and only about 10% of those have ever been recorded by either Woody or someone else.
Where did it come from? What is it about some people that there's a switch they can throw and they can touch the conscience of men and women everywhere? What is it?
I have no idea, but isn't it amazing that we have those people around us? Yeah.
Such gifts.
So prolific.
Well, he also ran across a fellow named Trump, didn't he?
He did.
Now, this is the father of Donald Trump.
Correct. And one of our researchers released this article earlier this year, which was timely in the political season, of course. And it was known that we had these documents in the archives, but whenever we got into the political season and there was a connection with another person named Trump, we wanted to make sure that people knew, believe it or not, Woody has a connection with that family. So in 1950, Woody and his family rented an apartment in a complex called Beach Haven from Fred Trump. And after they moved in, it came to his attention that the elder Mr. Trump would not lease to African Americans. Woody, of course, was one of the first civil rights advocates. In the early 40s, he was writing about anti-poll taxes, anti-Jim Crow laws, a whole race of people that were kept from their equal rights. So this did not sit well with him at all. So he sat down and wrote a lyric entitled "Beach Haven Ain't My Home," set to the melody of "I Ain't Got No Home." And then 2 years later, after they had already moved out of the apartment complex, he wrote another lyric about Beach Haven race hate. So he was still disturbed by it. And then a single-space typed document that goes over in more detail the problems with separating people and keeping them separate. But the real jewel of that single-space type document is the last paragraph. So he goes over the problems. He goes over that idea of drawing a line between the races and keeping people out, and how that's not what our country was built on. And the last paragraph says that you and me get together and talk together and walk together and sing together and play together and work together and hull together and dance together until we lick this racy hate together. What do you say, huh? And that's the beauty. Here's the problem.
That deserves to be framed in the home.
And as you can
you
tell,
get just a copy of that?
You know, we need to produce that.
I wish you would. I'd love to have one framed.
It's beautiful. I mean, because just saying there's a problem or that I'm going to fix this problem without any details, it's the way you fix the problem is you get together with people and you sit down and you talk with them.
You don't call them names.
You don't. You solve the problem.
You don't build a wall.
No.
God love you.
Yeah.
Okay. When is the Wood Guthrie Center open? Where is it? Help us so the folks know.
The Wood Guthrie Center is in the heart of the Brady Arts District downtown, and we're located at 102 East Brady Street. Our hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 6. We're only closed on Mondays, and we love to see everybody come out. I mean, people are going to have guests over the holidays, and bring those guests on out and let's show them a little bit of Oklahoma history.
And you got CDs and books.
We do. We have all kinds of things that you can buy and gift. And
coming Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I've already told you there's a book about the 26 songs in 30 days. Yeah.
26 songs in 30 days.
You bet.
But do me a favor.
Certainly.
Would you please, and I'm begging, would you please let me know if they ever print that one page? Because I'd give anything to have that framed.
Certainly.
I
will
mean,
let you
and
know.
hanging on my wall, I'd be so proud of it.
It's beautiful. I mean, it literally, the first time I read it out loud, it just brought tears to my eyes, because I said, that's Woody. That's what we do.
I've heard them live. I heard them live when everybody was still together. But Peter, Paul, and Mary activated an interest that I had in college with some of his work, and I find myself longing for it still. I'd love to. I'm coming over, kid.
Okay, come see me.
I'm going to spend more money than I've got.
Oh, see?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we all know this land is your land, and we're going to be back in just a minute with more.